To say the Kia EV6 is expected is an understatement. Since its unveiling in 2021, Kia's new 100% electric proposal has been talked about a lot. First, by its very daring design, created by Karim Habib, a designer of Lebanese origin who grew up in Montreal. Whether you love it or hate it, you have to recognize that the curves of the EV6 leave no one indifferent. We were able to testify to this during our test drive where the car turned many heads. At a time when we complain about a certain standardization of the automobile, it is impossible to confuse this Kia with another model. Strong points: vehicle eligible for subsidies, powerful odd version, comfortable and well-calibrated ride. Weak points: limited head space, no rear wiper, symbolic front trunk, responsive ABS braking on snow. Technically, the EV6 is based on the same platform as the Hyundai IONIQ 5 and the Genesis GV60. It is possible to choose between two different cogs, rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Two batteries are also on the program. The SR models have the smallest battery and are necessarily rear-wheel drive. Power is 167 horsepower and 258 pounds-ft of torque for a theoretical range of 373 kilometers. As for the LR models, the battery capacity increases to 77.4 kWh. It is possible to opt for the rear-wheel drive version, which offers 499 kilometers of autonomy, or the all-wheel drive, which reduces the range to 441 kilometers. A high-performance, 577 horsepower GT version is also planned, but it won't arrive for several months. Comfort first. From the first kilometers, the Kia EV6 stands out for its smooth ride. In the range, the role of sports will certainly return to the future GT. For the other versions, it is primarily comfort that is put forward. And given the state of our roads, so much the better. We didn't encounter any really rough roads, but overall the car is accommodating, even with the 20-inch wheels of our test model. On dry asphalt, our first observations show some body movements when we set a slightly more enthusiastic pace. Braking is sufficiently effective, and it is possible to modulate the power of regeneration during braking thanks to the paddles fixed behind the steering wheel. Position number 4 allows single pedal driving, while the other 3 gradually decrease the braking force. The system works well overall, except when there is a lot of snow on the road. In this case, on the performance side, the accelerations and pickups are energetic with 320 horsepower and 446 pounds-ft. The EV6 has no trouble getting into a fast lane or passing once on the highway. The soundproofing remains good and the occupants are well isolated from the outside world. Regarding consumption, we noted an average of 20 kWh divided by 100 kilometers in the city and up to 25 kWh divided by 100 kilometers at the maximum speed on the expressway, with an outside temperature between 3 and 5 degrees Celsius. The theoretical range was 390 kilometers. Before leaving at the end of our test day, we could have traveled about 360 kilometers with a full charge, heating at 20 degrees Celsius with heated seat and steering wheel activated without having tried to save electricity at all costs. It remains to be seen how the battery reacts to very low temperatures, but the numbers still look promising to us. On the performance side, the accelerations and pickups are energetic. With 320 horsepower and 446 pounds-ft, the EV6 has no trouble getting into a fast lane or passing. Once on the highway, the soundproofing remains good and the occupants are well isolated from the outside world. Regarding consumption, we noted an average of 20 kWh divided by 100 kilometers in the city and up to 25 kWh divided by 100 kilometers at the maximum speed on the expressway. With an outside temperature between -3 and 5 degrees C, the theoretical range was 390 kilometers before leaving. At the end of our test day, we could have traveled about 360 kilometers with a full charge without having tried to save electricity at all costs. It remains to be seen how the battery reacts to very low temperatures, but the numbers still look promising to us. Regarding fast charging, Kia announces that you can go from 10 to 80% autonomy in just 18 minutes, provided you recharge on an 800V terminal and 350 kW of power. Knowing that the majority of electric circuit fast charging stations display 400V and 50 kW, it will take at least an hour to obtain the same result. Technological debauchery and ergonomic shortcomings. Kia did not do things by halves with its EV6. First, by giving it a particularly worked aerodynamics. We notice it with its retractable handles, of course, but mainly at the rear where the offset from the line of lights acts as a small fin. We also note that the spoiler at the top of the rear window is perforated, which is supposed to improve air penetration. Like the IONIQ 5, the EV6 does without a rear wiper despite its tailgate. During our test day when the road was wet, water spray was minimal, even on the highway, a sign of good management of aerodynamic turbulence. But this absence remains an irritant in a place like Quebec, especially in winter. Kia offers the possibility of using the battery charge to power everyday objects or to troubleshoot another car that has run out of electrons. An interesting idea, especially if you run out of electricity for a few hours and you absolutely need to plug in an electrical appliance. Kia also offers active safety systems, the most high-end version of which is very advanced. This is particularly the case with the pre-collision system, which is able to assess the risks at intersections, on bends, or in the wrong direction. In the cabin, models with the most technological head-up display have an augmented reality system, which signals dangers or directions in real time to the driver. In use, the system works well, however we are still wondering about the relevance of seeing a small white circle appear under the vehicle in front of us. In order to maintain a sleek design, Kia has reduced the physical buttons as much as possible. It's prettier, but not more intuitive. For example, the manufacturer insists a lot on its new multiple use command, which allows you to change the assignment of buttons located in the same place. When you press it, you can choose to control everything related to ventilation, or display the multimedia system shortcuts. In use, it works properly, but it requires additional handling compared to physical buttons. Facing the driver, there is a large curved screen on the top of the dashboard, a layout now common in the automotive industry. It's actually two 12-inch monitors placed side by side. Their operation is intuitive, as always with Kia. Aside from the loss of the physical buttons near the screen, there's not much to complain about with this interface. The quality of finish is satisfactory overall, despite some hard plastics at the bottom of the doors or the dashboard. The materials with which the steering wheel is covered could also have been more qualitative. Nothing dramatic in itself, but at almost $62,000 it could have benefited from more attention. The interior is large enough for 4 adults. On the other hand, the clearance remains too limited for the head even with the seat lowered to the lowest. I'm 5 feet 9 in and my head almost touches the pavilion. If you're shopping for an EV6 and you're taller than me, a test drive at the dealership is in order before you buy. A word on the trunk, whose capacity varies from 690 liters to 1,322 liters once the rear seat is folded. It's adequate for a vehicle of this size, but we were surprised to find that the front trunk is tiny. Opening the hinged lid gives access to a symbolic space. Shame. And the discounts? Like other manufacturers, Kia has logically stuck to the prices that allow you to benefit from federal and provincial rebates in Canada. The entry-level model starts at $44,995. For the LR Odd model, the list price increases to $54,995. The GT Line 1 version starts at $57,995, while the GT Line 2 we tested starts at $61,995. All versions of the Kia EV6 are eligible for $13,000 in subsidies.